Hello and welcome to my second league match from the B division against Akuchi. Akuchi also has a Dominion channel and you can view our entire match on that YouTube channel. Akuchi is a very strong player, often in either the A division or the B division of the Dominion League. I guarantee if you go to his channel, look at some of his videos, you will learn something constructive about this game. This is the feature game from our match because it involves making a difficult decision on what to get as your first 5-cost purchase. Before we get to that critical, difficult decision, let's have a look at the kingdom. We have plus actions here from multiple sources: Village Green, Wandering Minstrel, and Nobles. We have cards, plus cards from Nobles as well. We have gain from Quartermaster and Invasion. And we have plus buy from Counterfeit. Our analysis does not stop here in this case. There are a couple other cards that we want to consider in this kingdom. Trail is one of them. Are there trail enablers is a question you should always ask when you see it on the kingdom, and the answer is yes. Quartermaster is one of them. If I gain a trail with a Quartermaster, it will immediately go into play if I want, and I get plus card, an extra card, and an extra action. In that case, trail functions as a source of plus cards and plus actions. The other enabler for trail in this kingdom is Cartographer. If you're able to discard a trail from the top of your deck, you'll also get the extra card and extra action. Finally, you want to consider Royal Galley. Royal Galley can also function as extra cards or plus actions depending on the card that you set aside. My focal point for this game was Invasion. I wanted to build a deck that could get to Invasion and as many invasions as quickly as possible. So let's see how we go about getting to our invasions. 5 is an important price point in this kingdom. Both Counterfeit and Quartermaster are extremely strong 5-cost cards. For that reason, I will open double silver to get to 5. Give myself the best chance of hitting 5. I do not need any of the 4 costs right now. They do nothing for my deck. The 5 costs do something for my deck. I'll do my best to get there. Akuchi agrees. They go for double silver. And on my first 5, this is the critical decision I was talking about as early as turn 3. Do you get a Counterfeit or do you get a Quartermaster? I wanted the Quartermaster over the Counterfeit because I thought the trails were more important. I thought winning the trail split was more important. In other words, I thought having more draw and more plus actions in the deck was more important than having a thinner deck. Now let's see what Akuchi thinks about the first 5. We'll have to wait. They just have 4. They get a Village Green. I get another silver. There are 3 silvers in the deck, but I'm okay with that because I want to buy Nobles at some point and Nobles is expensive. Also, I will buy a Counterfeit and I can counterfeit the silver later in the game if I need to. Here's Akuchi's 5, and is it Quartermaster? No, it is Counterfeit. So he disagrees, and this is why we play the game. We have this contest of ideas, and let's see how it plays out. I get my Counterfeit now. I will not neglect trashing. Counterfeit is the only way to trash in the kingdom. I need to get it. I know I need to get it. I just rather start in on the trails before I start trashing. Akuchi hits another 4-cost hand here. This time they go for a Minstrel instead of a Village Green. And on my 6th, could have been Nobles, I opted for a second Quartermaster instead. I really want to win the trail split, and Quartermaster is an extremely strong card. Even if you feel like there's nothing to gain in the kingdom with Quartermaster, still buy one. That's how strong it is, because worst case scenario, you could gain estates with it. And if you gain enough estates uncontested from your opponent, that can add up to be a significant point difference at the end of the game. All right. 5 for Akuchi. They now get their first quartermaster while I am playing my first quartermaster here. So I put mines down and I'm unable to buy anything else, but what can you do? Village Green for Akuchi. They opt to get the card next turn or this turn, and they get a second counterfeit. Not a second quartermaster, they get a second counterfeit. So, really the writing is on the wall very clearly. I am saying I won the trails because I won the extra cards and a few extra actions, of course, but mostly the cards. Akuchi is saying, no, I don't need that many sources of plus cards in my deck. I'll just get thin faster than you, and I will have a better deck than you. I said, okay, so here's the trick with the trail. You gain the trail, usually cards stay on the quartermaster for a turn, but because trail is a beautifully designed card, it can come into play immediately. And I draw an extra card, which is a silver. Great, I have the option to counterfeit the silver here, get up to 8. But I didn't really see what I was going to do with 8. I don't want any of the 4 costs right now. What I want right now actually is nobles, because I'm getting plus actions now from the quartermaster gained trails. So that nobles will never be dead as long as I can gain a trail off the quartermaster. Akuchi gets their quartermaster down, good for them, and they also follow me with a nobles because they will get the plus actions from the trail. Here comes my second quartermaster now, and I have 6 again. It is going to be nobles. I just need to draw now because I have more than enough money in the deck to hit invasion. I just need to draw all of it. So we will probably be fairly consistent with getting nobles for the next couple turns thanks to these quartermasters that I have in play. Second quartermaster for Akuchi as well. Now I get a couple of trails, draw a couple of cards critically. I will not trigger the shuffle here. I do. Luckily I draw into nobles. It was fine to trigger the shuffles there because I knew there was a nobles in the deck. And on the off chance that the nobles was at the top of the deck, that would be a great draw for me. Otherwise, it would just be a fine draw for me. There was little drawback to triggering the shuffle there because I knew there was a nobles. Luckily, I found it at the top. Alright, we are able to draw through until the end of the deck here, and we get to invasion. So we get the duchy, unfortunately. It's a stop card, it doesn't really help me right now. And I put a nobles on top of the deck to draw. This amphora, I was a bit hasty with the amphora. I could have used the money straight away and bought a royal galley. Now royal galley is excellent for my deck because I have so many targets, trails and nobles all over the place. Instead I opted to keep it out of play because I wanted another turn like this. I wanted to give myself the best chance at drawing a heap of cards one more time. Amphora is a stop card, so if it sits outside of the deck, it'll slightly increase my chances of drawing big again here. I feel very good about my position right now because I've been able to get invasion first. We'll see if Akuchi could follow me on that invasion. They do get draw from the 2 nobles, so they will likely get to invasion if they want it here. And they do see both counterfeits. Get to invasion. Look at that. That is an excellent loot. The prize goat trashing an estate immediately. And they opt here to buy a desperation. We didn't talk about desperation because I didn't think it would be relevant, but Akuchi wants the extra money to get another nobles. I understand why, I think, because they wanted to make sure that they did not lose the nobles split. They have 4 of them. If they left 2 there, I would definitely pick up 2 of them on my turn to win the split, give me extra draw, more draw than my opponent. That is probably a decisive advantage. Additionally, with that recently gained prize goat, the curse can easily disappear from the deck. Alright, quartermasters gain a couple of trails to maximize the draw. And 4 starts us off with 3 coins. Let's see how far we get here. We do see the second and third nobles almost until the end of the deck. And I can actually double invasion here. If I get good loot, I can double invasion here. So we do go for that chance. Counterfeit the silver, get up to 17. So 1 invasion gets me a loot which is worth 3 coin. That'll get me to the second invasion. We top deck the 4th noble, so we share that pile. Now the question is what to top deck here with this second invasion. 2 thoughts. One was cartographer because I won that trail split. The other thought is the Band of Misfits because the Band of Misfits can function. Well, I will win the trail split, I expect. I haven't won it yet, but I have 5 of them and there's just 2 in play and Akuchi only has the 1 quartermaster. This is not a great loot, the Endless Chalice, but that's how loot goes sometimes. I top deck the Band of Misfits. It can be a minstrel if I want, but more importantly and more what I'm hoping it turns out to be is a royal galley. That's it for me, and we pass it back to Akuchi. They'll gain the penultimate trail, and they find a noble, so they'll probably draw quite a bit of cards here. 1 more trail from them, they are stopping, and actually they don't quite get the full deck, but they get enough of the cards to go for an invasion, but they don't. Instead, they stop here, go for desperation instead of invasion, and get 2 provinces. That surprised me a little bit, but I understand why. Noble's pile is empty. Trail I will empty for sure. If they bought an invasion, there would only be 3 duchies left, and I can easily buy 3 duchies. I showed that I was able to do that last turn with 17. So that is a correct decision from Akuchi to not buy invasion and instead maximize points with the desperate double province play. So I gained the last trail because I need the plus actions really. Now what do I gain now that the trails are empty with my other quartermaster? Well, I decided to start gaining royal galleys. I can gain 1 now and then pick it up on the next turn, and because I have 2 quartermasters, I can alternate between gaining and taking between the 2 quartermasters. So on 1 turn, 1 can gain a galley, and then I can take the galley from the other one, and they can keep switching rules like that. So I will always have a royal galley in hand, which is great. So we start in on the royal galleys. I might be a little bit strapped for actions here. I could have played that as a minstrel to offset the lack of actions, but I really wanted the galley. Galley is a very strong card. It means I don't draw as much cards here, not even up to invasion. Well, I could go desperation invasion, but I don't want curses in my deck. I already only have the 1 counterfeit, means I'm a little bit less trash than my opponent. I have no way to get rid of the curse. I will just stay quiet with my little province here and stay ahead of Akuchi with that province as well. I also have nobles set aside on my galley, so potential to have a big turn on this turn here. We'll see how it goes. Let's see what Akuchi does with their single quartermaster. Now, do they start gaining estates because we are getting close to the endgame? No, they gain a minstrel instead. Have quite a good turn here, I would say, seeing 2 of their nobles. Now they stop. Unlikely that they have double province here. In fact, they have to go for desperation province. I'm happy to see the curses go in. Very happy to see the curses go into their deck. Now let's see what our royal galley on nobles will get us. Obviously for cards, we take a royal galley from one of the quartermasters, then gain one with the other one, the alternating galleys as we mentioned. I play the galley probably a little bit too early. If I was tracking the deck, I would have known that there was a nobles at the bottom, and I would have been able to set aside a nobles instead of just setting aside a trail. Setting aside a trail is good, but setting aside a nobles is better. Could be 13 here, which could be province duchy, but getting province duchy I felt would make it a little bit too easy for Akuchi to end the game by getting triple duchy, and that would be winning. So I save the amphora for the next turn, and again, I just need the province to stay ahead, so I'll just buy the province. There's no way Akuchi is going to triple province on me. I think they only have the one loot, the prize goat. Even if they counterfeit that, I don't think they hit 24. Minstrel goes into hand off their quartermaster. They see one nobles, they see two nobles. Importantly, I saw them flip two counterfeits with their wandering minstrel, so I'm not worried at all this turn. With all the counterfeits, there's no chance of even double province from Akuchi. They choose here, I believe, to duration this village green, and they stop just by a duchy. Now, the duchy is dangerous, but what else do you do in that position? Well, maybe you could try to build the triple province, but that's very difficult because I have a good turn here. I mean, as my opponent, you see that I've set aside a card on the galley. I'm gaining galleys every single turn with the quartermaster. I have an amphora in play. I understand the duchy buy, but it isn't winning, but what else is winning, you know? Resolve everything here. I will take the galley off and continue to gain galleys. I thought about estate here, but I don't think it makes much sense. Galley again has to go on trail here. We're looking for our nobles. Here's it at the bottom of the deck. Have to draw this one dead, and well, fortunately, we draw into enough money to get 3 duchies to finish the game. At the end of the game, I am still not sure which was the right 5 cost to buy. First, was it counterfeit? Was it quartermaster? However, I am quite certain that at least 2 quartermasters was needed in this kingdom. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.